Alright, what is going on, guys? I am TJ, bringing you a brand new video on my channel today, and guys, do we have something to talk about? I mean, this whole situation to me is just mind-blowing, and if you obviously you saw the thumbnail for this video, maybe that's why you clicked on it, you know, peep my good edit skills and Photoshop ability and stuff like that. But this whole situation is just crazy to me, that this whole thing has gone down and that this whole situation is unraveled in the last 6 hours maybe. This whole thing is just crazy to me. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Kareem Hunt, his name has been flying around NFL Twitter and Twitter in general over the last few hours because of something that happened to him, and we're gonna get right into that right now. So guys, basically what happened to Kareem Hunt was back in February. Okay, so TMZ just released a video today. Today is November 30th. Today is November 30th, 2018. Kareem Hunt was in a hotel in Cleveland in February of 2018, and apparently he got physical with a girl, you know, shoved her, kicked her a little bit, did some things that aren't warranted. Those things, you're not supposed to treat a woman like that. You're not supposed to hit women. You're not supposed to get physical with them, shove them around, do anything like that. It's just disrespectful. That's not how most men were raised. That's not how I was raised, at least. You have to know better than that. So for Kareem, I feel sorry that he reacted in that way and that he felt that that was necessary to get his point across instead of talking and maybe, you know, de-escalating the situation. But he decided that that's what he wanted to do. I'm not defending his actions. I think they were the wrong actions, but the girl did go and say, she said some very belligerent and racist comments. Apparently that's what the initial reports were earlier today. She had some racist comments for Kareem, and she apparently hit him or shoved him or slapped him or something like that. And so Kareem had that response, and that's just, you know, that's just the response that he chose to have. Wasn't the right response to have. Like I said, you're not supposed to treat women like that. So that video was leaked by TMZ, which is the scum of all media. TMZ is absolutely terrible. I hate TMZ. I'm not mad at them for this situation. I have just never been a fan because of, you know, how they, like, the way their show is just so cringy. Like, I've watched like a few TMZ shows, and I just can't sit through it without like having to run to my toilet and puke everywhere, because it is literally just, it's worse than Fortnite YouTubers. Like, TMZ is worse than Fortnite YouTubers. That's just it. It is so bad. And I'm not mad at them for this situation, like I just said, but they have just made me hate them even more. And the NFL came out, or I don't think the NFL had officially said anything, but a few hours later, in my head, I was like, okay, so if the NFL is going to do anything, they might fine Kareem and suspend him for the rest of the regular season, possibly the rest of just the season in general, so no playoffs, no Super Bowl, no anything like that. And that's effectively what they did. They put him on the commissioner's acceptance list, or exempt list. It's like the commissioner's exempt list or something like that, which means that he can't practice with the team, he can't go to the team facilities and do film or workout or anything like that, he can't attend any games, and he can't play in any games. So he is not allowed to have any contact with the team. That was what the report was about a couple hours ago, I'd like to say. I'm not sure, not off the top of my head, I'm not sure. So that was the initial report. So that really exceeded my expectations as to what the NFL was going to do, because I thought maybe a few game suspension, at most the rest of the season, and you know, a few $100,000 fine, possibly. Like, that might be the extent, but they went to the extent of suspending him indefinitely for the rest of the season, effectively by putting him on the commissioner's exempt list. The next development that comes out of this story is that the NFL knew about the situation but couldn't get the film of the altercation from the hotel that Kareem was at, because the hotel's policy was that with anything you know, related to this dude did this to me in the hallway and there's video to prove it, so can I get the video? They turned those type of videos and those kind of tapes over to the Cleveland Police Department, and the NFL was never really able to access it. And apparently the NFL had some NFLPD and investigators trying to figure that whole thing out, and the Chiefs didn't know about it initially, and they couldn't get the film. So apparently, okay, so that was the first report. So the NFL couldn't get the film because the hotel turned it over to the police department, and since the NFL couldn't get it, the Chiefs couldn't get it, so they were just going off of what Kareem had to tell them. But they were aware of the situation that happened. They were aware that Kareem was involved in that situation. The next thing was that they sat down with Kareem and talked about him, or not talked about him, they talked to him about the situation, and he explained his side and what happened and all this stuff, and the NFL heard it and the Chiefs heard it. And then the video surfaced today, And after looking at that video, apparently from what Kareem Hunt told the NFL and the Kansas City Chiefs, it didn't match up with what the video said. So effectively, he was untruthful and he lied to the Chiefs and to the NFL about the whole situation. So I don't know what he lied about. The Chiefs didn't release anything like Kareem said this, Kareem said that, and then the video said this. They effectively just said, we knew about the situation, we sat down and talked to Kareem via the video, and the evidence that was provided by the hotel, by TMZ, whoever leaked the video, via that stuff, they determined that, you know, Kareem had lied and was untruthful about the entire situation. And with that, the Chiefs decided to release Kareem Hunt. This is all, as a Chiefs fan, as a hometown fan, I've never loved the team more than the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, I'm a Detroit Lions fan, kind of, because that's where my dad grew up, and they're a hard team to root for, but they're easy to love because they suck so bad, and you gotta just accept it, kind of like how the Browns are. And then I've been kind of a little bit of an Eagles fan because of Jeremy Maclin was my favorite college player, and then he got drafted to the Eagles, and I had an Eagles jersey. But I have never loved the team more than the Kansas City Chiefs, and they have, in the offseason last year, they impressed me so much by dealing Alex Smith, an aging quarterback, for Kendall Fuller and I think a pick, and it was just a good contract to get off the books. We got a new young corner, and I was like, great, now we have Marcus Peters and Kendall Fuller. We're kind of set at the quarterback position. All we need to do is draft one, and we'll be fine. Then they traded Marcus Peters for a 5th-round pick to the Rams, and we saw what he did to us, you know, a couple weeks back, or not a couple weeks back, that was like, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, I think, I can't remember off the top of my head, but, you know, we saw what he was capable to do. He intercepted a pass, he locked up Travis Kelce on the last couple of drives, so we were without Marcus Peters this whole season, and it's definitely shown in our secondary, even though he hasn't played that good in Los Angeles himself. And now we are losing Kareem Hunt, who is, in my opinion, probably a top 5 running back in the NFL, a guy who's been a vital piece of our success this season and last season, led the NFL in rushing yards last season. I think he was top 2 in scrimmage yards and like top 3 in touchdowns. This year, he's a top 5 rusher in terms of yards in the NFL. He's got a lot of good receiving numbers, touchdowns both ways. Apparently, the Chiefs felt that him being dishonest was effectively just the end of the Kareem Hunt era in Kansas City, and they have released him. This is kind of similar to what happened with Carlos Williams, if you guys remember Carlos Williams at all. He was drafted by the Buffalo Bills out of Florida State. He had I don't know if his was like aggravated assault or assault charge or something like that. The Bills cut him, the Steelers picked him up. He could never get back onto the field. Personally, I hope that Kareem can, because he's a young guy. He's only like 3 years older than I am, and I couldn't imagine myself if I was in that situation. I don't know what I'd do with myself if I was Kareem. So I only hope that, you know, Kareem, his actions showed that he maybe is a different person than a lot of us thought he was. You know, we love him as a football player. He's a good guy. He helps out in the community, all this stuff. But maybe he has some off-the-field issues that were undisclosed, or maybe this was just a one-time thing. And it sucks that it happens to be a one-time thing, because I don't think he just does this every weekend like, you know, Reuben Foster does, where he had domestic violence charges, you know, before he got to the NFL, when he was in the NFL, and then just like 2 weeks ago, he got cut from the San Francisco 49ers because, you know, he had a domestic violence, he, you know, got not written up, but he was charged with domestic violence down in Florida, and then he got cut and then picked up. So I only hope that Kareem can turn this into a positive situation, really learn from his mistakes, because I believe he's a good guy in his heart. He just had this one outburst, and, you know, I hope that he can learn from these actions. This may be something that affects his career for the rest of the time that he's in the NFL. I honestly do think that it'll affect his career, and whether he'll be able to get a job in the NFL now, I'm honestly just speechless at this point. It's just, this is all unraveled in the last like 2 hours, 3 hours, and it's just all, I know a lot of us Kansas City Chiefs fans are just in a whirlwind right now. We're just at a loss for words, and we just don't really know what to feel right now. But, you know, I only hope that Spencer Ware can come in, step up, be a good part of this offense, like he was 2 or 3 years ago, back when Jamal Charles got hurt, and then he had to come in and have a really, really good season. So, and at this point, I'm just out of words for this whole situation. I'm kind of heartbroken, but I'm more disappointed in Kareem and how he chose to handle the situation. You know, he could have just been honest to the Chiefs. It was during the offseason, so maybe he would have got like a 4-game suspension at the beginning of the season. So, I mean, I'm honestly just at a loss for words. I'm just gonna end the video there, guys. I'm TJ, and I'll see y'all the next time I upload, which should be my mock draft, coming sometime in the midweek next week. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.